Hi, my name is Todd Bennett, and I was one of the trainees at Nova Transition Port Macquarie.
Hi, my name's Campbell and I joined Todd in 2010 with the Transition Work Program.
So guys, Campbell first, what did transition do for you to get to where you are now?
It gave me a lot more confidence than I had when I first started.
It made me more confident at work, made me more social with colleagues and clients.
What was it about transition that helped you improve your confidence, guys? Todd?
It helped me develop my customer service skills, learn how to talk on the telephone, be able to more confident with face-to-face communication.
What about you, Campbell?
By Michael pushing me out of my comfort zone and gaining confidence through that.
To get the job that you've both got, Todd, you're working for RoadNet as a trainee road designer. Is that what you've always wanted to do?
Yes, I've always had a passion with anything to do with road design and project management in roads.
Did you think you'd ever get to this position without transition?
No.
Okay.
Todd was diagnosed with autism when he was 2.5, moderate autism and moderate developmental delay, and later on in his life he was diagnosed as having Asperger's syndrome by Tony Atwood. That was early in his high school years. When he was young, things were quite chaotic for a while after the diagnosis. Todd was reasonably demanding, and a lot of changes in routine upset him and resulted in a fair few tantrums. As he got a little bit older, these subsided, and when he went to school he was still fairly routine and didn't like much change, but he had very good help at school with the teachers and also with an aide that he had full-time for the first 2 years of his school life, mainstream school.
Yeah, so he had a lot of assistance when he was at school, which was good, which helped him a great deal. Also when he was younger, he had auditory integration training with a fellow from America, and that helped his hearing a lot. So when he was about 5 or 6, that improved his language a great deal, so that he was able to at least communicate with us. And that was school years were difficult, but we got a lot of assistance through early intervention to start with Port Macquarie Community Preschool, and then through Hastings Primary School. He had an aide, and then in the first few years of high school he had an aide as well, and assistance from a lot of the teachers in high school. In the first few years of high school he had an aide as well, and assistance from a lot of the teachers in high school.
In primary school he had quite a few friends. The teachers and the aide were very good at including him in groups, and he did get invited to a few birthday parties and that sort of thing, and he had one little friend in particular that used to sort of buddy up with him and look after him. When he got to high school it was a bit of a different matter, and he found it hard to fit in, but he did play sport a lot at lunch times, which gave him something to do without sort of standing out from the crowd. High school he also had a few problems with communication. He found it hard to communicate with the teachers, and not so bad with the aides, but with the teachers. He couldn't go to the canteen on his own, and I would often have to go into the office and do things there, or ring teachers and ask them questions that he didn't feel confident to ask them about.
So once he finished school, we were a little bit concerned on what he was going to do, because he did lack a lot of confidence to go out and do things on his own, to go shopping, also to get involved with other people and have friends, and that improved. Okay.
Yeah, transition to work was very good for Todd. It taught him a lot of skills for not only work skills but lifestyle skills. It built his confidence, and from there he just went from strength to strength over the 2 years. And they also gave him a belief in himself that he could actually obtain like employment and be able to live independently and do the things that he wanted to do.
Yeah, his confidence grew, and he became I think transition to work is a good environment for Todd, well, and others, I suppose, just to settle in, and there's that stability there where they can learn in an environment that's not under pressure. They also learned how to apply for jobs, and also to do mock interviews, which is invaluable when you're trying to seek employment, and by doing those mock interviews in that sort of situation, there's not so much pressure in applying for jobs. I'm sure that stability between school and work helped him a great deal to find his feet and his confidence.
Todd, as you all know, has Asperger's, and it did affect his school life quite a bit. He often appeared to lack confidence, and communication was an issue. Over the time that we knew him, he did grow very much as a person, and he grew more confidence in himself and his relationships with other students and teachers. He had a big love for rugby league and sport in general, but rugby league, and when he felt confident with the subject, he would be able to discuss things freely and express himself and have opinions, and I did use that a lot to get him talking, and he was very knowledgeable, and the conversations I had with him were very, very informative. We did see the confidence build in him over the years, and he came along to the Year 12 formal, which we didn't think he was going to be able to do, but he was always trying to push himself to become involved in school life as much as he could. He had a really good bunch of mates who used to push him along and try and engage him, and I'm very proud to hear about his achievements, how he's gone on to full-time employment with civil engineering. I think he'd make a fantastic employee, and as you people would probably know, he really sticks in his job, and once you give him the task, he'll follow it straight through. Anyway, all the best, Todd. I'm really proud of the way you've developed into a young man and got full-time employment, and you'll be a great asset to any of the companies you work with in the future, so well done, mate.
Hello, my name is Matt Taylor. I'm the head teacher of the support unit at Wauchope High School. In July 2008 I met a young man, Campbell Peel, who was in Year 11 at the time. Campbell is a student with Asperger's syndrome. He received funding support, so that meant that he had a teacher's aide would go to some of his classes with him and provide support for him in the playground and at various meeting times, and just to act as a support person to Campbell. He found it hard sometimes to fit in with the crowd, and once he found his niche with us in what we call the cottage, Campbell seemed to blossom. He enjoyed the company that he received down there. He enjoyed the security of a quiet, safe place out of a playground. He did have friends in his year group, which was great, but sometimes you just needed that security, which we all need, just a safe place for us to go. Campbell left school at the end of 2012 with his HSC, which was a wonderful achievement. Campbell then went to Nova Transition, where he did a 2-year program, which is just finished. It was wonderful a couple of weeks ago to walk up to the school, the staff notice board, and see a big feature article on Campbell with his new job at the Bella Rose Cafe as a trainee cook. He's always been interested in that area. His dad has a background in hospitality, and it was a real thrill for me particularly to see Campbell succeed in this way. Lots of the staff have been talking about him, and we see him as a real success story of Wauchope High School and Nova Transition. Wish Campbell all the best in his career. Look forward to popping into Bella Rose for a milkshake sometime and seeing Campbell at work.
Through Nova Transition, I've achieved the goal of my dreams and also the job that I'm really looking for in the industry of civil engineering, and I'm hoping in the future to gain even more success out of the industry.
RoadNet was fortunate to find a good trainee through Nova Transitions. Todd helped us out in our search for civil engineering designers.
Thanks to Nova Transition, I found the job of my choice, and I'm looking forward to the future here.
Thanks to Nova Transition, Campbell's got the job of his choice, and we're very happy with it. And we're very proud that he's now got his traineeship with RoadNet. He's loving his job, and it's in his chosen field, which doesn't happen very often these days with kids coming out of school. So he's been very fortunate there, and it's been through a lot of hard work on his behalf and also on behalf of Transition to Work. But yes, he's
And Michael.
and Michael, yeah, and he's settled in very well with his job, and we know he's just going to go from strength to strength.
He was diagnosed early with ADHD when he was about 2.5, and we sort of dealt with that and a lot of issues with playgroup and starting school. We had problems with bullying and not being able to share, things like that. As time went on, we were still having difficulties, and at about 7 or 8 he was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. So he's classed as a high functioning autistic. So that means that we were able to get help at school, and we actually had 4 years of help at primary school. That helped him basically keep up with everyone else. However, he was still having problems with social interactions, and there was a lot of bullying going on. So at that stage I pulled him out of school, and we had a period of homeschooling, and he returned to school just before he went to high school. When he got to high school, once again we had support. He had classroom helpers to get through the academic requirements. Of course, when he left school, he really didn't know which avenues to take, so it was suggested that we get in contact with Nova, and they basically wanted to teach him job skills but also life skills, and I feel that that's been a really big benefit, because he's had assisted work experience where he goes out, and if he's not feeling confident, there is that backup that he can call on. If there's any issues in the workplace, he's got someone that can give a little bit of input. And it's also just a process of learning what to do for an interview, how to approach people, what's appropriate on the job, those kind of things, which as parents we all teach our children, but sometimes when there's someone outside the family who says the same thing, it carries more weight. Once again, just that extra support in social interactions, budgeting, life skills, even as simple as cooking meals, and just day-to-day existence basically. So I've found it very helpful. He's now employed. He's going to go into a traineeship next year, which he is absolutely chuffed about. He's very positive about it, looks forward to going to work, and everything's going swimmingly.
If you were asked by a young student coming out of Year 12 this year about transition to work, how would you recommend Nova? Do you think it's a good idea for him to come here, and why?
I think it's a great idea. I think it gives them the skills to learn to get into a job and into a full-time job of their dreams, and also gives them the independent skills as well on top of getting a job.
Yeah, it pushes them out of their comfort zone so they know what to expect in the real world.
Well, how would you describe your time at transition? Was it a good time? Was it worthwhile?
Yeah, it was worthwhile. It did give me the confidence at the end of the day, and it also gave me a job which I really like doing at the moment.
So what was the major thing that helped you get into the position that you're with through transition, Campbell?
By helping with my confidence and interviewing skills, which I struggled at when I first started.
Okay guys, well thanks for being part of this interview. I'd like to say congratulations to both of you for being the first graduates from Nova Transition Port Macquarie, and congratulations on the job choices that you've made. You're both working in areas that you've been wanting to work in for a long time, and all the best in the future, guys.
Thank you.
Over 7,000 businesses know the secret to improving workplace efficiency and morale is employing a Nova Employment candidate.
We've hired Campbell from Nova Employment to work here in our kitchen. He's honest, reliable, hard-working with a great attitude. We highly recommend Nova Employment.
So why not follow the lead of Deborah at Bella Rose Cafe and give a great employee with a disability a fair go? Contact our Nova Employment North Coast offices or visit novaemployment.com.au.